Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet that dresses up as superheroes and patrols the streets. I'm your host, Rob.
And I'm your host, Chad, and today we're talking about Kick-Ass 2.
And on Thursday, we're going to be giving our review of Marvel's big comic book event of the summer, Infinite. Right? Infinity.
As in the gauntlet.
And beyond.
As always, you can check us out over at Twitter at Epic Geek Out. Make sure you also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Epic Geek Out, and also check out the website, www.epicgeekout.com. But let's get into our review of Kick-Ass 2. So, Kick-Ass 2 stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Chloe Grace Moretz. Apparently, you can only get hired for this movie if you have a three-name name.
Yeah, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the three people, the main stars. And it's the sequel to Kick-Ass. And, Matthew Vaughn, he is just producing this time around and not directing. But it's basically, we have the heroes. I think it's like 2 years or so after.
Or so. Yeah.
Or so, I think.
She's obviously older.
Yeah, and she's starting high school. And it's, a continuation of the story. And, in this, now you have the Red Mist, who was formerly a superhero, now trying to be the first supervillain. He's developing a gang of, super thugs to beat Kick-Ass, because, Kick-Ass did kind of kill his dad with a bazooka from the first movie, which, spoiler alert, I guess, but they show it in the previews for this.
Yeah.
So, Chad, what do you think of Kick-Ass 2?
Yeah, so not
also Jim Carrey. Just to touch on this real quick, Jim Carrey is also in this, and there is a big stink that came out before this movie. Now, he refused to do press for it, and he was like, just coming out against the violence of this. It was a violent movie, but. Just to touch on that happened.
Obviously, him coming into this, he had to have seen Kick-Ass 1.
Yeah,
I would
even dressed up as Kick-Ass on Conan O'Brien.
But he knew what he was going to sell.
So there's a bunch of controversy there, but
yeah, it's definitely more of that. So that's the good news. So the bad news is that it's obviously written by different people, shot, directed by different people, and it shows. The story itself is really good. I really was on board with. This is a proper sequel. It really takes escalation up a notch. Everything that happens is awesome. There's the epic fight at the end, which was awesome, so much more awesome than stuff from the first movie. But the quality of the writing and the script and all that stuff just wasn't up to par of what I liked in the original one. The original one had this really awesome humor injected into it. And this had humor, but a lot of the written jokes were really cheesy and felt lame and corny in this. Whereas in the first one, the way that they were said was just hilarious, even though it was corny and cheesy, but they were able to write it in a way that felt
and they had
natural.
Nick Cage in the first one being, so odd, and that character alone really added some uniqueness to the movie.
Yeah, definitely. So I think a lot of that stuff fell flat, but overall I really was on board for everything that this was. It definitely takes a lot of the themes from the first movie and really expands upon them. There's good guys, so there has to be bad guys now. So are they really making the world a better place?
Or did they cause it?
Right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like that. Kind of Batman touched on that a little better with the monologue at the end of Batman Begins. Yeah. But
this really is sort of what the core comic is about, which I love that they were able to kind of keep that theme through there, because it's not an easy theme to really communicate. We want those flashy, awesome action hero movies, but this had that, but also, talk about the consequences of those actions and events. So I like that they kept with that. And really, there was some weak CG moments, like the van scene, which we saw in the trailer, which we knew that was going to be bad. And there was a lot of stuff from the Hit Girl comic, which I liked, touching on Hit Girl in high school. Just sort of, because we didn't really get a lot of that with Kick-Ass this movie. We did more so last movie of him dealing with his friends and stuff at school. But this took the female side of it, and I think that was cool.
And she's such a good character, too. She deserves screen time.
Yeah, and so the villains never really seemed overly villainous to me.
Oh, really?
I don't think, Christopher Mintz-Plasse was a little goofy.
Well, he's playing it in kind of a manner that, he tries to learn fighting, but then he realizes, I'm just going to spend money, and I'm going to hire people to kind of do it.
And you get the henchmen, and some of them were pretty cool. But really only one was menacing, the Russian, Mother Russia. The rest were kind of just guys with guns, you know, which was cool. But yeah, I think overall I really liked a lot more than I thought I was. It's not getting the greatest of reviews, so I was kind of not. Yeah. I didn't have a lot of expectations, but it definitely met them, and it was a good watch. Yeah.
So this movie is okay. It's fine. It had some fun moments in it, and it had some, you know, kind of moments that take you completely out of it. I kind of do see Jim Carrey's point, but again, you know, if you had to read the script, you didn't know what it was going to do. You know, some points in this movie just made you feel really dirty and gross in your own skin that you were, like, seeing it on camera, like the situation with, like, the high school and stuff like that. Yeah. But, you know, there were, I think, enough enjoyable moments, enough moments that were, you know, cool fight scenes. I liked the other heroes that were brought into it. You know, they form a team, and I thought that was good. They fleshed out each of their stories. And the thing that I really liked the most about this is that people really felt like real-life superheroes that actually do exist. What's the documentary? The real-life superhero documentary?
It's escaping me.
We forget the title. We'll put it behind us. But, you know, we watched the documentary on real-life superheroes, and the ones in this movie feel so much from that movie. And so, you know, it was more grounded, but then some of the dialogue did take you out of the movie. But there is enough fun fight scenes and, you know, some use of technology in this movie, which made sense in current day situations, how people, you know, they found them through their IP address, or, you know, they're posting on Facebook and Twitter, and things like that, which, you know, I thought was good and, you know, would seem commonplace, you know, today. But again, this movie, it doesn't have the same level of, I don't know, like, cutting, like, not sarcasm, but, like, witty darkness, banter. And then the first one did, you know, whereas I don't think this movie didn't know if it should glorify what they were doing or condemn it, because they had moments where it was doing both at the same time, which was kind of odd. Though, you know, overall, I did enjoy it. I thought, you know, it was okay. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not a rush out and go see movie, but I did like the first. I like the characters. You know, if they do a Hit Girl movie, I will go see that. I think she's the strongest character there. Yeah. I would like to see a flashback with Nick Cage or something like that. That would have been cool.
They did focus on his character a lot in it, which was a little weird, just that they kept going back to that. But I guess it makes sense. I mean, it's definitely not reinventing the wheel. It's not like anything different from that we got from the first, but it's a really good continuation of the story, which is what I liked, and the characters. So check out Kick-Ass 2. It's in theaters now. If you saw the first one, I think it's pretty much, I think, a must-see to carry on the story. If you like
the first one, yeah. So it's that time of the episode where we like to give our thanks. Chad, what are you thankful for today?
I'm going to give a shout out and a recommendation for another YouTube channel that you should check out. It's called Belated Media. They have put out, the most famous thing and how I found them was they put out 2 Star Wars commentary things on episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Much like Red Letter Media did, which I loved, but those were like hours long, like longer than actual movies. This was a really nice, like 16-minute condensed thing where the guy actually goes through what he would have done with the prequels in terms of the story that could have made them so much better. And it's just a really well thought out, articulated take on the prequels, but he also does some random movie reviews and stuff like that, and actually a really good video on like horror movies and what they had to do with society and why they became popular at the time. So check it out, Belated Media. There's some really good stuff in there. Cool. There's not too many videos, so you can get through them. I was like addicted. I was watching a ton of them. But he's a really insightful guy, so check out his channel.
And you know, if you caught the episodes last week, I brought up the fact that I recently purchased Marvel Unlimited. I'm enjoying it, getting to catch up on a lot of old series. You know, I've mentioned before The Runaways, and the one that, you know, I'm really into now and really enjoying is the 2010 run of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm going to give my thanks out to that because, again, I am pumped for this movie. I want to know more about the characters, and it's just a really good storyline, and it's getting me introduced to it. I'm also staying up with the current, like, Michael and Bendis one as well, you know, but there's only 5 of them out. But yeah, so I'm just really enjoying reading the characters, and it's during the Secret Invasion storyline, so it's cool to see how that's tying into that, you know, Marvel like summer, you know, event. So I'm really enjoying those. So, you know, if you're at all interested in comics, and, you know, I guess the price point is a little high at, well, you could actually only do Marvel Unlimited for a month too. I would say check it out because you're gonna get the backlog. I mean, Avengers vs. X-Men's already on there, so you can see last summer's event, and, you know, you could just, you know, if you have like some free time just to read and get through, and it's it is condensed to what you need to hit too. So
Yeah.
I would check that out. At least try it for a month.
Cool, definitely. So we're going to be back on Thursday, ironically, talking about comics with Marvel's new summer event, Infinity. So make sure you check back for that. But thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.